Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Plus. In a relief for spouses of H-1B visa holders in the US, a judge in the US court has ruled that they can continue to work in the country. Spouses of H-1B visa holders, a significant number of whom are Indian working in American tech sector, have been struggling to make ends meet, will now be able to enjoy the benefit as the spouse that holds the visa. Now remember, the H-1B visa is a non-immigrant visa and it allows US companies to employ foreign workers in occupations that require theoretical or technical expertise. Now, tech companies depend on H-1B visa and thousands of employees each year from countries like India and China enter the US using the visa. Dismissing the lawsuit filed by Save Jobs USA, US District Judge upheld the Obama-era regulation that gave employment authorization cards to spouses of certain categories of H-1B visa holders. Now, Save Jobs USA, an organization comprising IT workers, had claimed that they lost their jobs to H-1B visa workers. Many tech companies such as Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft had opposed the lawsuit. The US has so far, remember, issued nearly 100,000, in fact more than that, visa authorizations to spouses of H-1B workers. Moving on, the centre is planning to raise 8.88 lakh crore through market borrowing in April-September period of 23 and 24, the Finance Ministry has informed. The move is aimed at funding revenue gap to push economic growth. Out of the total gross market borrowing of 15.43 lakh crore estimated for 23-24, rupees 8.88 lakh crore or 57.5% is planned to be borrowed in the first half of the year. The borrowing will be spread under 3, 5, 7, 10, 14, 30 and 40-year securities and is scheduled to be completed in 26 weekly tranches of 31,000 to 39,000 crores. The budget for financial year 24 reduced the fiscal deficit or the gap between expenditure and revenue to 5.9% of the GDP for financial year 24 as against 6.4% in the current financial year. To finance the fiscal deficit in 23-24, net market borrowing from dated securities is estimated at 11.8 lakh crore rupees. And crypto major Binance's troubles are unending. Investors have now withdrawn as much as $1.6 billion of cryptocurrency from the world's biggest crypto exchange market, Binance. Sell-off comes after the platform was sued by top US regulator, Commodity Futures and Trading Commission, CFTC. The US Commodity Futures Trading Commission sued Binance, its CEO and former top compliance executive, alleging that they were operating an illegal exchange and a sham compliance program. Following the CFTC's lawsuit, Binance witnessed $1.6 billion of overall withdrawals, $852 million of which were withdrawn in the last 24 hours alone, according to blockchain data tracker Nansen. This is a step up from the average of 385 million per day over the last 2 weeks. So Binance, they're losing more and more money with each passing day. Now, Binance has called the CFTC's lawsuit unexpected and disappointing. The crypto platform, in its defense, said that it has been working with the regulator for more than 2 years now and has beefed up its compliance staff and will continue to collaborate with authorities in the future as well.
The world's largest crypto exchange is being sued by a US financial regulator. It alleges that Binance and its founder, Changbin Zhao, illegally operate in the country and run what it called a sham compliance program. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission accused Binance on Monday of willful evasion of US law while profiting from US customers and business from at least July 2019. It also said that its compliance program had been ineffective and, under the direction of Zhao, employees and customers were told to circumvent compliance controls. They say that Binance broke US laws as it, quote, offered and executed commodity derivatives transactions on behalf of US persons. Binance's former chief compliance officer, Samuel Lim, is accused of aiding and abetting Binance's violations. The CFTC said it is seeking monetary penalties, disgorgement of ill-gotten gains, and permanent trading and registration bans. Binance has defended its practices. In a statement, Zhao described the complaint as unexpected and disappointing, adding that they did not agree with the characterization of many of the issues alleged in the complaint. A spokesperson for Binance said the firm had made significant investments to ensure it does not have US users on its platform. The lawsuit comes amid a broader and increasingly high-profile crackdown on crypto companies. Binance was founded in Shanghai in 2017 and sits at the heart of the industry. Its core Binance.com exchange processed trades worth about $23 trillion this year, according to data provided by Crypto Compare.
Moving on, Sam Bankman, the founder of FTX, the fallen cryptocurrency exchange, has been charged with directing $40 million in bribes to one or more Chinese officials. Now, Bankman-Fried was arrested in the Bahamas in December and brought to the United States. He's currently facing a trial on criminal charges of stealing billions of dollars in FTX customer funds to plug losses at his Alameda Research hedge fund, in addition to making large illegal political donations to buy influence. The latest charge of conspiracy to violate the anti-bribery provisions of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act is the 13th in the number of charges against the disgraced cryptocurrency founder. Fried has pleaded not guilty to charges that he cheated investors out of billions of dollars before his business went bust. Remember, FTX filed for bankruptcy on 11th of November when it ran out of money after the crypto crash, something equivalent of a bank run on the global cryptocurrency exchange.
More legal hot water for disgraced crypto mogul Sam Bankman-Fried. The founder of now bankrupt crypto exchange FTX was accused by Manhattan federal prosecutors on Tuesday of conspiring to bribe Chinese government officials with $40 million worth of payments. The new charge adds pressure on the 31-year-old former billionaire, who now faces a 13-count indictment over the November collapse of FTX. Prosecutors had previously accused Bankman-Fried of stealing billions of dollars in customer funds to plug losses at his Alameda Research hedge fund and orchestrating an illegal campaign donation scheme to buy influence in Washington. He has pleaded not guilty to 8 of the 12 prior counts he faces. The latest indictment accuses Bankman-Fried of ordering a $40 million cryptocurrency payment to a private wallet from Alameda's main trading account to persuade Chinese authorities to unfreeze Alameda accounts with more than $1 billion of cryptocurrency. A spokesman for Bankman-Fried declined to comment. China's foreign ministry could not immediately be reached for comment after business hours in Beijing. The Chinese embassy in Washington, D.C. did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Bankman-Fried, who has been confined to his parents' Palo Alto, California home ahead of his October trial, is expected to be arraigned Thursday on the latest charge. The judge on Tuesday also approved modifications to Bankman-Fried's $250 million bail package, which include the use of a cell phone without internet connection and a laptop with limited functions.
And shifting focus, more good news for users and fans of Apple products. Apple India is now offering its own zero-interest finance on select purchases. Apple is getting into the buy now, pay later space with a few tweaks to the existing model, including no option to pay with a credit card. The company will roll out the products to some consumers this spring and will begin reporting loans to credit bureaus this fall. Here's what you need to know. Since the start of the pandemic, the option to buy now and pay later skyrocketed in popularity. This especially among young and low-income consumers who may not have credit or access very easily. Now, if you shop online for clothes or furniture or sneakers or tickets, you've seen the option at checkout to break the cost into smaller installments over a period of time. Companies like Afterpay, Affirm, and PayPal already offer the service. Now, typically with late fee for missed payments, there are also options to use a credit card or bank account to make installment payments. Apple's version, which is integrated with Apple Pay and facilitated by MasterCard, will require the consumer to use a debit card and a bank account to make those payments. Apple will also not charge flat or percentage late fees. Instead, missed payments will eventually result in consumer losing access to these kinds of loans. Apple said that its buy now pay later product will also offer fraud and consumer protection through MasterCard's existing pay by installment model. My colleague Amit Ranjan, who's been tracking this story, is joining us right now. Amit, how does the buy now pay later work for Indian consumers here?
Thank you, Shweta. It has been branded as an interest-free loan. Buy now pay later services follow the same process. You download the app, link it to a bank account, debit or credit card, sign up to pay a weekly or monthly installment. This is how Apple products will also operate. Most users are approved within minutes. In Apple's case, there will be no late fees, either flat or percentage. Only the possibility of missed payments reported to credit bureaus, which will basically downgrade their ratings, something similar to a CIBIL score in India. They will have a contact support coming with this service, so that can be accessed by the customers. But basically, that is how it will work.
Okay, and I'm told these purchases are in fact protected. The data will be protected.
Now, there is a certain Truth in Lending Act that works in the US, which regulates credit cards. Buy now, pay later does not come under this. But Apple's protections will be offered through the services that are facilitated by MasterCard. So whatever protection MasterCard is offering, the Apple users can avail of them in this service. But as far as law enforcers in the US, they advise the borrower to against linking credit cards to buy now, pay later, at least in the US. So that is how things stand. It is protected as far as MasterCard facilitates it for US customers.
Okay, and how soon can we buy an Apple product and then start paying later?
Well, the services basically will start almost immediately.
Okay.
These services are offered basically to increase card sizes. So if once these services are offered, and that is the reason why Apple is offering them, that once you have a buy now, pay later option, consumers are surveys show that consumers basically purchase more. As is the case with even any other such paying platform, be it Amazon or whatever. So that is the reason why Apple is also offering this, with the advantage to Apple consumers that there is no late fee or percentage fee. That is an added attraction to them.
Okay. Do you know this already happens in other countries? This is going to be introduced now in India, but many other countries in which Apple already does that. And as you rightly pointed out, it's going to add to their customer base here in India as well. Very interesting opportunity there for a lot of people who want to buy Apple, cannot afford Apple.
Even today, if you buy an Apple product on Amazon, there are other companies that are offering the service.
Okay.
Now Apple is offering it itself.
Interesting take there. Apple will now start offering buy now, pay later, which means you can buy Apple. You can buy Apple, but you can pay later. A facility that Apple was already offering in many countries will now be extended to India, as Amit pointed out. In fact, almost immediately, within a couple of months, you will be able to walk into an Apple store, buy an Apple product and pay later for it at a later time. Shifting focus now. Alibaba has announced a plan to separate its $255 billion empire into divisions that will raise funds individually and eventually explore initial public offerings. The e-commerce pioneer is set to create 6 separate business units. The move may compel rivals like Tencent to follow a similar path. The plan to split Alibaba Group holdings into 6 units sent the company's stock soaring on Tuesday, while introducing a potential model for global tech giants facing mounting breakup pressures. Alibaba's American depository receipts climbed as much as 15%. This was its best performance since June. Alibaba Group Holding Limited's overhaul could serve as a template for a restructuring of China tech itself, a shake-up that achieves Beijing's aim of carving up the country's tech titans while unlocking potentially billions of dollars in pent-up shareholder value. Now, Xi Jinping's administration had long criticized the influence of online platforms, worried that concentrating power and data among a few tech companies suppresses innovation and threatens the party's grip on power. Alibaba and Tencent invested, remember, in over hundreds of startups over the years, often helping shape entire segment of consumer internet from ride-hailing to grocery delivery. And with this latest move, it's a salvo for what tech industry will shape up in years to come in China. I want to ask you, Amit, what is the significance of the restructuring?
This move comes coinciding with Jack Ma's return to China almost after 1 year. Now, the clampdown that Xi Jinping had done on Alibaba wiped out almost 500 billion from Alibaba's net worth. Now, this move basically comes to provide fillip to tech startups in China. All the shackles of raising money from the market have been removed for Alibaba. So that means they can raise money from the market right now. This will also this move basically should encourage more startups startup entrepreneurs in China to take the big tech route, to go into big innovation. We talked about China lagging 5 to 6 times behind US in funding for AI startups. China wants to bridge that gap. This is one move that basically will give a fillip to tech entrepreneurs in China across the board. You just mentioned that what Alibaba has done may be followed by Tencent, another giant that basically goes into tech forays in China.
Okay.
So that is the big significance of this move.
Okay, so just for the benefit of our viewers, we are given to understand that Alibaba will be separating the entire $255 billion empire into divisions that will raise funds individually and also then eventually explore initial public offerings. 6
different divisions, each of them will be allowed to raise funds individually, independent of one another.
Okay, and this is likely to shape up the tech space in China in years to come, and many of rivals of Alibaba are also likely to follow suit. Thanks very much, Amit, for joining us with those details. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business Plus. Thanks very much for watching.